Freddy Krueger to this day is one of the most iconic horror killers ever. Before his death, Freddy was a child killer and he was killed by the parents of Elm Street who were pissed off at him being released from prison. The film starts with Tina being stalked by Freddy in a tense, atmospheric opening that really sets the tone for the rest of the movie. This alone is one of the scariest scenes in the entire film. She's eventually caught and wakes up before Freddy can do any damage to her. In the first 20 minutes, she is hinted at to be the main character until Freddy kills her in one of the best deaths in the entire film. I mean, it's just really well done. I don't really have anything to say about it. Then the role of heroine goes down to Nancy, who starts drinking coffee and taking pills to keep herself awake and away from the dream world. Her boyfriend Glenn is actually played by Johnny Depp. I know, Captain Jack Sparrow himself is in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Sadly, he's one of the worst characters in the film. He was nowhere near the fantastic actor that he is today. Like most horror films with a serial killer that just couldn't exist in real life, no one believes Nancy when she tells them about Freddy. There is one scene where her dream is actually being monitored for unnatural behavior. Her dream ends up going off the charts so they have to wake her up. When woken up, she pulls out Freddy's hat and still no one believes her. I mean, come on, her dream gets violent and she pulls out a hat? How fucking stupid are they? So then Nancy decides that she should hold Freddy when she wakes up so she can pull him into the real world. She sets up many booby traps around her house so when Freddy comes out of the dream, he would actually be really harmed. Booby traps were pretty much a staple in Wes Craven's early movies, including People Under the Stairs and The Hills Have Eyes. In this film, the dream sequences are not as creative as the sequels and try to focus on scaring its audience instead of being incredibly unique and smart. Freddy is scarier than he is in any of the sequels, but he still manages to spout out random one-liners. At the time, slasher movies were about guys with knives, so this added a huge twist to the genre. A lot of the time, the dreams are set in a boiler room because that is where Freddy would take his victims when he was alive. The ending is a little confusing and people have debated whether or not it was actually set in a dream. Everyone that was killed in the film is alive to hint that either everything in the film was a dream or that when Nancy killed Freddy, she released the souls that he has taken through dreams. All the kids get into the car and then the roof comes down with Freddy's stripes on it. The kids no longer have control of the car and it drives off into the distance. Then you see Nancy's mother get pulled through the window by Freddy's claw. This part has always been one of the parts that has stuck with me because I remember being truly scared by it the first time I saw the film. I mean, I was about 10 and I didn't find the rest of the film scary, but that really took me off guard. This ending wasn't actually in the original script. Originally, Nancy is seen getting on the school bus and then goes off into the distance. The producer decided that they should change the ending to leave room for a sequel, which was a smart move in my opinion. Another thing that really creeped me out in this film is the Freddy nursery rhyme. Whenever I hear it, I get chills down my spine. A Nightmare on Elm Street is one of the most original and terrifying concepts ever put on film. I mean, a killer murdering people in their sleep? That's intense. A lot of horror movies create a claustrophobic tension in the movie, where there's a killer chasing the characters and they have nowhere to go. The fact that the killer kills people in their dreams makes the film even creepier. In your sleep, you are at your most vulnerable, so getting attacked in your dream is literally the worst place you could get attacked. The special effects all hold up to this day and are still some of the best I've ever seen. The original Nightmare on Elm Street is actually one of the only older horror movies that I've heard modern horror fans actually talk about. I used to know a few people who didn't watch older horror movies because they didn't find them scary, but every single one of them found the original Nightmare on Elm Street scary. I guess that just goes to prove how unnecessary the remake was. A Nightmare on Elm Street is essentially a horror classic. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. In fact, I would say it's probably in my top 10. I get scared by it every time and every time I have a hell of a fun time watching it. I give it an A++.
Why?